What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they get a win. They walk off the Tampa Bay Rays. No, nothing happened in this game that really annoyed me. Nothing happened in this game at all that annoyed me. It was a pretty normal game. Pretty normal game for all the aspects. Good pitching, low scoring, comes to a walk-off hit by Cody Clemens. Pretty normal game. Pretty normal game. No. No. There wasn't a situation where the Phillies didn't get a hit until the sixth inning again or something like that. No, there wasn't a situation where Bryce Harper did not hustle out, which should have been a double because he thought it was a home run. No, that didn't happen. No, Johan Rojas didn't drop a ball over the fence, which would have been the first out of the top of the ninth inning. Instead becomes a game-tying home run. An unfortunate situation. No. That didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. This was a really normal game. Just a completely normal Phillies game. A completely normal Phillies win. God, I wish I could say that. I wish I can truly say that it was a normal Phillies win, but no Phillies win is normal in this day and age. The Philadelphia Phillies are not normal in this day and age. But yes, at the end of the day, it does result in a win in the win column. It does result in your magic number for the division dropping, which is a good thing. And like I said, it doesn't matter how many wins you get. It doesn't matter how you win. I completely butchered that. It doesn't matter how you win. They just ask how many. And yes, today resulted in a win, but there was a lot of frustrating things. The one thing that really wasn't frustrating, Cristopher Sanchez. Cristopher Sanchez was very good. Very good once again, 6 strong innings. Kept the Rays silent, which you really should at this point because their offense really is not that good. And Cristopher Sanchez, once again, out on the mound in Citizens Bank Park, he was really good. 6 shutout innings in total. And 6 shutout innings, like I said, 4 hits, only 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs, 94 pitches. Some really good stuff. And there was a good stat that I saw here. I believe it was from Tim Kelly. Right after Cristopher Sanchez, I believe it was right before his day was done, or it was just after his day was done, or something like that. So this is what Tim Kelly on Twitter posted. Tim Kelly of On Pattison and Phillies Nation. Cristopher Sanchez, according to the Fangraphs, now has the 4th highest WAR among qualified starting pitchers at a 4.6. The only pitchers higher than him are Chris Sale, who was at a 6.2, Tarek Skubal, who was at a 5.3, and then Zach Wheeler, who was at a 4.7. So that shows you how much analytics really love Cristopher Sanchez and really how, I would say, good for the most part Cristopher Sanchez has been this year. Yeah, he's had some hiccups, especially on the road, and the numbers are drastically different compared to away from Citizens Bank Park and at Citizens Bank Park. But more than not, Cristopher Sanchez has been a very reliable source from your starting rotation, I would say, for the entire year, besides maybe like a few hiccups over the road. And that's going to happen with a guy that's, going through his first, I would say, full season as a starter in a rotation. So, he's been in and out at most points. Sometimes he would get called up for a little bit of a stretch for an injury. Maybe he would be an opener. Maybe he can get you 3 innings or 4 innings or something like that out of the bullpen. He would be called up, maybe sent down. He'd be like one of those spot starters or something like that. But then he really found the groove last year in the late stages of the season, became a huge part of that rotation in the backstretch, and he's really established himself as a major league pitcher this year and a major league starter, and he's become a very reliable one in that fact. So there's a lot of credit that is due to Cristopher Sanchez, and he deserves all the credit in the world. But once again, for this game, offense, very annoying. You were basically, I believe you didn't get your first hit once again until the 6th inning, and that first hit of the ball game was Kyle Schwarber in his solo shot, which was absolutely crushed, by the way. So Of course it was Schwarber, and of course he drove in the first run, and of course that was the first hit. And you're thinking to yourself, is that going to be basically the only thing for this game? Because really both offenses are not doing anything. And that's what it seemed like for the matter of the fact until he got into the top of the ninth inning with Estevez out there on the mound. And at first off the bat, it seemed like a harmless fly ball, but then it just kept carrying and then carrying and then carrying and then carrying and then carrying. And then Johan Rojas makes a leaping grab. He catches it. But then the momentum of the jump brought him into the center field fence. And the freaking momentum arm hits the top of the railing, and the ball bounces, just falls out of his glove over the fence. That is just an unfortunate situation. That is unfortunate, and I feel for Rojas there. But also at the same time, find a way to secure the ball, please. 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 Just secure the ball there. But it's just like, I got to stress out watching the rest of this game because the offense has been basically brutal for the past 2 days. They had 2 hits. They had 2 hits going into the ninth inning. They had a lot of walks in this game, but 2 hits. And literally, Schwarber gets the home run, and then Turner gets a single following that, and those were the only 2 hits. Those were the only 2 hits. Then you go to the bottom of the ninth. Trey Turner, first pitch, fucking fouled the ball off, crushed it. I was like, come on, man. And then he got a hard liner that went right to Lau out in right field. It was like, come on, can Trey just catch a break right there? Come on. And then the elephant in the room fucking here. Bryce Harper. And we all know Bryce Harper hasn't hit a home run in a very long time. And I am going to go over some Bryce Harper stats that are good and I don't want to say bad, but like the numbers at face value are good. It's just a specific category that we're all concerned about right now and that we're not getting from Bryce Harper. So Bryce Harper, obviously, lefty-lefty. They go to the lefty-lefty matchup because, you know, the Rays, they like to go to the bullpen. They're very analytically driven. They're very matchup-faced and everything like that. So they go to the lefty end of the bullpen to face Bryce Harper. Bryce crushes it. You think it's a home run off the bat. We all think it's a home run off the bat. Nope, it hits the top of the wall, and Bryce Harper is only at first base. Only at first base. No, it wasn't a result of the outfielder making a good play on the ball, making a good, fielding position, ball off the wall, play off the wall, whatever you want to call it. No, it wasn't. There wasn't a good throw into the nothing. It was nothing like that. Bryce Harper stared down the hit because he thought the ball was gone. He thought it was a home run, and he was just jogging up the first baseline until he realized, oh fucking shit, this is not a home run. I gotta book it, and he only got a single out of it. So yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen. And John Kruk really described it perfectly. You're trying to, 1, win a division, and you're trying to get a bye week. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. You can't do that. You cannot do that. I don't care if it's Kyle Schwarber. I don't care if it's Johan Rojas. I don't care if it's anybody on this team that does that in that situation. I don't care that it's Bryce Harper. You cannot do that in that situation, and the fact that it's Bryce Harper makes it stand out more. And yeah, there's so much of the stuff in this city about, oh, how we can't criticize Bryce Harper and all that stuff. No, Bryce Harper is not above criticism. He is not. Bryce Harper over the stretch, his numbers may be good, but right now this man is not supplying any power whatsoever. And he thought in that moment, oh my god, I finally just fucking hit a home run after so fucking long. I'm going to watch this in awe. And then you realize, fuck, it's not a homer. That can't happen. That can't happen at all. You got to be on second base there. Now, you won the game eventually, and they saved your ass. Your teammates had your back. That can't happen. It just can't. That is unacceptable. That is inexcusable. And Rob Thompson's not going to do this because Rob, doesn't have the balls. As much as I like Rob Thompson, he doesn't have the balls to do this. Bryce Harper, in my opinion, should be benched tomorrow for that specific situation. It just can't happen. You can't be staring down a ball when it's a tied game because you think the ball's gone. You gotta be on second base. You gotta be fucking booking it out of the box. That cannot happen. What Bryce did. It's unacceptable and it's inexcusable. Not out of my star player. Really, anybody on the lineup, like I said, it's just Bryce Harper, and that escalates it even more, and that makes it even more inexcusable. And he's not above criticism. It's insane. It just can't happen. You gotta be on second base there. Now you're lucky Stott had your back, hustling out an infield single. You're lucky Buddy had your back and worked a good at bat to get a walk. And you're lucky Cody Clemens had a good at bat and had your back to get the walk-off hit. You were lucky there that they had your back. You owe all three of those guys steak dinners, the most expensive steak dinners possible. But like I said, I think Bryce should be benched tomorrow, but that's besides the point. That is besides the point. It is a win in the win column. That's all that matters at the end of the day. The Braves also lost to the Cincinnati Reds. And the last time I checked, the Mets are beating the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, they're in the bottom of the ninth right now. The Blue Jays did take the lead in the seventh, but in Blue Jays fashion, their bullpen sucks. The Mets instantly took the 3-2 lead following that, and it looks like the Mets are going to get the win. So you have to win at the end of the day. That's the only thing that matters. You control your own destiny. So you had 5 hits in total on the day. And Schwarber 1 for 4 with the solo shot. Turner 1 for 4. Harper 1 for 3 with a walk. Castellanos, he had 2 walks. And Bryson Stott, he went 1 for 3. And then Cody Clemens went 1 for 4 with an RBI. In terms of runners in scoring position, you went 1 for 4. And really the only chance, Clemens had 2 chances. Weston Wilson came in the pinch hit for a chance. Nothing happened there. And Bryson Stott had a chance. At the pitching perspective, like I said, Cristopher Sanchez was really good. Kerkering, he was really good. Retired his 7th inning very quickly on 8 pitches. Hoffman dealt with a couple of very unfortunate hits. Bloop single and a chopper. That was really in Nowheresville, basically. But Hoffman got out of his situation with 2 strikeouts. Estevez, like I said, it was very unfortunate that Rojas could not trap the ball in his glove, and it was just very unfortunate that the ball popped over the fence as he hit the fence. That was just an unfortunate situation. He also took a comebacker to his fucking knee. Like, seriously, what the hell is with the Phillies and the fucking knee injuries this year? What the hell is with the ball hitting our knees so far lately? Got JT with the bone bruise the other day, and they're saying he's doing fine. They're saying he should be back for the Mets series. But Jesus fucking Christ, do we have to wear knee pads at this point? Like, what the hell? Literally, the ball was scorched off the bat right off the fucking left knee. He finished the inning, but he's probably not going to be pitching for the next couple of days. Because, oh boy, that is going to sting tomorrow. That is going to be painful. I wouldn't be shocked if he also gets a bone bruise. My God, we don't need any more injuries. They're piling up lately. With Bohm still being on the IL, with Sosa on the IL, with JT not missing games here, with Stubbs taking shots to the fucking head. It's unreal. It's unreal at this point. My God, you can't make that up. And like I said, in terms of the game, nothing really happened offensively for both teams. Like I said, the first hit for the Phillies in the first run was the 6th inning on Kyle Schwarber's solo shot, and that ball was crushed. And then, 7th inning, they have a chance because Castellanos and Stott lead off with a walk, and then Wilson grounded it into a double play. That's always nice. Bottom of the 8th, they go down 1-2-3. Top of the 9th, the whole Rojas can't trap the ball in his glove. Unfortunate situation there. And then bottom of the 9th. So, yeah. Joy. So it's a 2-1 win. You get your 86th win on the year. So that's nice at the end of the day. And it looks like the Mets game just finally wrapped up. So they won 3-2. So that sucks at the end of the day. So the standings, they basically stay the same at this point with the Braves losing an extra game right there. So I would believe, the Mets would be 7 games back and the Braves most likely would be 8 games back still in a game behind the Mets for second place in the Eastern Division. So we'll see what happens with that over the course. Of course, you got the weekend series this upcoming weekend with the Mets, so that's going to be fucking annoying as shit and stressful as shit because, it's never normal with the Phillies when they play the New York Mets. It's never normal when they play a series against any goddamn team. But it does look like they have a lot of separation with the Brewers right now, and the Brewers did not play, so they just added more separation on top of that. So it looks like with this win, they're a half game behind the Dodgers for the first seed, and they're 3.5 ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers. So they took advantage of that when the Brewers had their day off. And I think the Brewers, they play out west. I think they're playing in San Francisco. Not today. They're off today. They think they start a series in San Francisco starting tomorrow. So, with the way San Francisco has been playing, their pitching has been a lot better. Who knows what could happen there. But win your games, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day. That's basically what it is. And go into Bryce Harper again. So there's a stat right here on Harper. This was posted before. This was actually posted during the game from Corey Seidman. So if you look at these numbers at face value, they're very good. Tonight marks a month since Bryce Harper's last home run, though he has hit 309 with a 391 on base percentage during that stretch of 111 plate appearances, bearing the other few plate appearances that he had in his game. So a 309 average with a 391 on base percentage, that is very good. That's very good. It's the fucking power. And he doesn't have power right now. Granted, yes, he hit the ball hard in that ninth inning, and it did go to the wall. I think he also had a fly ball that was almost a home run against Miami, too, in that final game. So maybe we're finding something there at least with the Bryce Harper power situation. But it's his power. It's his power. And that's the one thing we need from Bryce Harper is power. Yeah, it's great that he's hitting above 300. It is great that he has almost a 400 on base percentage. I need this man to slug. I need this man to get extra base hits. I need this man to go hit the ball over the fence. And right now, he's not doing that. As Corey Seidman said, it's been over a month exactly since he last hit that home run. And I think his last home run was against the Diamondbacks on the road. So, oh my God. He just needs to figure it out. I actually do want to go to Bryce Harper's stats if I can see that on MLB.com so I can exactly see what his slugging percentage has been over the last 30 games or something like that. So, let's see. Yeah, if I go to Bryce Harper's last 30 games, so that's 112 at-bats in his last 30 games. He has 35 hits in that span. He has 1 home run. He has 10 RBI, 12 walks, 21 strikeouts. He has an average of .313 with a .389 on base and a .446 slugging. .446 slugging is not going to cut it from Bryce Harper. In the last 15 games, he's batting .377 with a .468 on base and a .509 slugging. And then in the last 7, he has a .360 average, a .429 on base, and a .440 slugging. So he's getting on base and he's getting hits. He's got 5 walks over the last 15 games and 7 walks over the last 15 games and 2 walks over the last 7. So he's getting on base, he's getting hits. Homers. Homers. What needs to happen? And he's not doing that. Hopefully, that swing that he did have in the ninth inning is something that is getting close to what we can see from Bryce Harper. And like I said, he did also have a fly ball that could have been a home run in Miami that went just off the top of the wall or something like that for a double. So maybe we're getting closer to Bryce Harper driving the ball better. But like I said, I need to see it in order to believe it right now because we really have not been getting that from Bryce. Just cannot. So I do want to see if Bryce Harper has definitely going to be refreshing the Twitterverse over the course of these last of the recap to see if Bryce Harper has anything to say. I'm sure he's going to criticize himself because that's what Bryce Harper does in the post game. So we'll definitely get to that. We'll get to you guys here in the chat as always. We do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. So we'll get to all of those stuff in due time. In terms of the upcoming games, tomorrow I believe Ranger Suarez is on the mound, and I do believe the Phillies did announce that Allard will be starting on Saturday against the Mets. So they're not going to be skipping the 6th spot in the rotation, especially with the off day on Thursday. So that's going to be normal rotation right here because it does look like for the Brewers series. So if everything's going the way that I think it is, I think the Brewers series next week is going to be lined up for Rangers, Suarez, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola. I think that's the way they want it set up. So I understand why Allard would be pitching on Saturday. Yep, exactly right here. That's what it says on ESPN. So tomorrow, Ranger Suarez looking to build off of his last appearance against the Marlins, where he pitched very well in 5 innings. Against Taj Bradley, he's 6-10 with a 4.40 ERA, and he has been very bad in his last a lot of starts. Very bad. Let's look at his numbers here. So, after being very good in the month of July, this dude was fucking abysmal in August. Dude had a 1.45 ERA in the month of July, and then he had a 10.41 ERA in the month of August. Holy fucking shit. Look at some of his August games: 5 earned runs, 6 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 4 earned runs in his last start in September against the Twins. So that probably means he's no-hitting the Phillies through 7 innings. That's just probably what it means with the way this offense is going the last couple of games. Probably what it means. And then for Wednesday, it'll be Zach Wheeler going up against Shane Baz. Shane Baz is 2-3 with a 3.27 ERA. Top prospect for the Rays. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. So, and then for the Mets series, it'll be Aaron Nola against Jose Quintana. And we all know how Jose Quintana pitches against the Phillies lately. Then it'll be Colby Allard against Luis Severino. Severino has been very good this year for the Mets, actually. 10-6 with a 3.70 ERA. I don't think he's pitched against the Phillies this year in the matchups that they played. Not that I remember. I don't think he has. So this will be the first time the Phillies are seeing Severino this year. And then on Sunday, it'll be Cristopher Sanchez against Paul Blackburn. He's 5-4 with a 4.66 ERA. How has he been doing since coming to the Mets? How has he been doing? So since coming to the Mets, since being traded to the Mets, he's got a 5.18 ERA. So he hasn't been good. He has not been good. But looking at the few starts that he has had, so 6 innings against the Angels, 1 earned run. 6 innings against the Rockies, 1 earned run. Okay, so he has 2 starts of 5 earned runs or more than 3 starts with 1 earned run. So he's been either very good or very bad. That's basically what it looks like right there for that. But I'm not going to look that fucking far ahead because that's still this weekend. You still got 2 more goddamn games here against Tampa Bay. So that's what matters here at the end of the day. I got a sneeze upcoming. I feel like it. Oh, God. That was annoying. I felt that coming up for the past couple minutes. So I do want to keep refreshing to see if there's anything from Bryce Harper. Probably not going to see anything from Bryce Harper for the next few minutes here. Okay, here it is. So we got something from Rob Thompson from 97.5 The Fanatic. Rob Thompson addressed Bryce Harper's mistake not hustling out of the box in the 9th inning. Before I can go and talk to him, he came up to me and apologized. So obviously Bryce Harper knew he was in the wrong. So I'm not shocked in that slightest. Definitely not at all. It's just that still can happen. Still cannot happen. So to pass the time for more things to come about on the Twitterverse, let's get to the End Time Hotline. Let's get to Sean here. Let's see what Sean's got to say. Sean, what you got?
For a while, that game was like watching the Cleveland Browns versus the Atlanta Falcons in terms of offensive productivity.
No. You could probably throw the Steelers into that mix as well. You could probably throw the Steelers into that mix. Because I wanted to say the Chicago Bears, but they did win their game, but they didn't score a single offensive touch. The Steelers won their game not scoring a single offensive touchdown, too. So you could throw in a lot of offenses there. Continue.
Very coma-inducing. You got the win. I feel terrible for Cristopher Sanchez. One dropped home run away from getting a well-deserved victory. I mean, we did what we had to do. Still not liking the way we're swinging the bats. I understand we have a lot of guys out, but still, I mean, you get any kind of productivity, Sanchez wins that game going away. But you get the win, much needed. Kudos to Cody Clemens. And kudos to somebody else. Credit to John Kruk on the broadcast. Not a lot of broadcasters would have the balls to call out the superstar player of their franchise the way he did tonight with Harper not running the ball out, and rightfully so. In my opinion, Harper should be benched to start the game tomorrow. I know we don't have much of a bench, but that's a heinous offense. That just can't happen. Kruk nailed it. You're fighting for a division title, and you don't run out of ball at the end of the game that could have cost your team. Inexcusable on the part of Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I don't think Rob Thompson is going to bench him because that's not the way Rob Thompson rolls. But yeah, you hit it right on the nail in the coffin right there. Yeah, Crux said it right. Crux said it rightfully so. Bryce deserved criticism there. Definitely. Definitely, definitely. It looks like they're interviewing Buddy Kennedy, too, after the game. So that was actually a fun moment seeing the fan base chant Buddy there in the ninth inning, working his walk. So that was a pretty fun moment there. You know, a local kid like trying to come up there and he works a walk. So that wasn't important at bad of the game. That was fun. What did he say? Let's see. This is what Buddy said. It was something very special that I'll remember for the rest of my life, Buddy Kennedy said said of the crowd of 40,000 spontaneous Buddy Buddy chants in the ninth inning. Okay, dude, you need to relax, he told himself before the walk. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. Nope, not seeing anything in terms of a Bryce Harper interview, but that might come over the next couple of minutes. I'm not entirely sure right there. So, for the matter of the fact, let's get to the live chat here, talk with some of you guys. And, yeah, that's basically it right there. What else? What else? Nope, let's get to the chat. Look at the chat. I'm sure none of you are really inspired after tonight. Welcome to the Bryce Harper home run waiting room. I swear our pitching, when good, really keeps us in the win zone. Well, yeah, the pitching has been the biggest driving force of this team this year. Okay. Look. Okay. I know you guys are going to really criticize the offense right here. Yeah, it's been 2 straight games. The offense has not been good. I'll say 2. Because Saturday's game, I don't blame on the offense. You scored 5 runs. 5 runs was enough to beat the Miami Marlins on Thursday. Why wasn't 5 runs enough to beat the Miami Marlins on Saturday? Why? Because Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola was not good. Not going to blame the offense for scoring 5 runs the day after scoring 16. I'm not going to blame him for that. Yeah, I'll blame him for not scoring on Sunday, but then that's also in the matter of the fact that Seth Johnson fucking sucked. Today, yeah, you can't have back-to-back games where you're getting no hit through 6 innings. Yeah, that is reasonable right there. I'm also not going to throw away what the offense has done lately more times than not. So there's got to be a middle ground right here. I do feel, and yes, I'm also rightfully in this part as well, but I do feel like when we don't give them enough credit when the offense is going well, but when the offense suddenly turns to shit, that's when we harp on the team. So there is a middle ground to all of this stuff. We don't give them credit when they do good. I'm specifically talking about the chat here. I'm sure there's many other people like this, but we don't give them enough credit when the offense goes well, and we shit on them when they don't have a couple of bad games in a row. And yes, I guess it's warranted because that's what this team is. But I think over the course of the past, I would say like 2-3 weeks at this point, I think the offense deserves a little bit of a break there. I'm sure they'll figure it out again. And it's also, yes, they are dealing with some injuries in the matter of the fact they don't have Bohm, now they don't have Sosa, even though Sosa's not a mainstay in the lineup, but you don't have JT in the lineup and blah, 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 blah. Granted, yes, you still have Schwarber, you still have Turner, you still have Bryce, you still have Nick, all that stuff, yes. Marsh and Stott, they have been going very well recently. So Stott has been a lot better at the plate as of recently. He's been getting a lot of hits. So there's credit where credit is due there. Like I said, Marsh has been better at the plate in the past, I think, like 15 games or something like that, too. So credit where credit is due there. Yes, the past couple of games have not been inspiring offensively. But I'm also not going to forget the fact that they scored 16 runs the other day. I'm not going to forget the fact that they, won 3 out of 4 against the Braves. I'm not going to forget the fact that the offense was really good against the Houston Astros, besides that final game. I'm not going to forget the fact that, what else? The offense was very good against the Kansas City Royals, so I'm not going to forget that fact. So, like I said, they deserve credit when they do good, and I feel like we don't give them enough credit when the offense goes well, and we really shit on them when the offense shits, basically. So, And I guess it is warranted at the end of the day, so who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? I'm so glad Buddy Kennedy was able to work out a walk. I swear Trey Turner is the most boring $300 million player ever if he is worth $3 million and Kyle Schwarber is worth... I think you're discrediting Trey Turner there, in my opinion. I don't think you credit when Trey Turner is playing at a very good level. It's very fun to watch. Yes, the defense isn't good at shortstop. He probably is a second baseman more long term. But I think we're also forgetting how good Trey Turner is at most points of the year. He was very good to start the year before he got injured, and he was very good for a stretch coming back from the injury. Yeah, now recently he's been very up and down, but I think we also have to remember how good he was as well. Because it is in there. Just can't get excited about wins like this. All these massive contract guys doing almost nothing. Cody Clemens is... Why is it bad that Cody Clemens is the hero? I understand you want your top guys to do something. Kyle Schwarber hit a home run. Kyle Schwarber hit a solo shot. So your top guys did something there. Yes, Bryce Harper. Yeah, I'm not going to say the thing on Bryce, but... And that's not me trying to knock criticism off him, but yeah, the thing with Bryce, yeah, obviously. But sometimes, yes, your guys in the lower part of the lineup do have to come up clutch. I mean, that's just the way baseball works. Your top guys aren't going to come up all the time. So your lower guys need to come up, and Cody did. And Cody has been a very reliable bat for you this year when he has been available. So I think I feel like you're putting more blame on the top guys, but not giving the other guys credit. That's where that's where I'm trying to explain here. They could have won the division a week ago if the offense wasn't in a coma in most games. Guys, they weren't going to win the division last week. Okay. As much as I harp the team on the offense, they're not going to score 10 runs every game. That's just not physically possible. Yes, would I not like them to get no hit through so many innings? Of course. But they're not going to score 10 runs every game. They're not going to score 8 runs every game. Yes, you would like consistency from the offense, but saying that they would have won the division last week if the offense wasn't in a coma, that's just not true. That is just not true. No team is... you could say that about any team. You could say that about the fucking Dodgers. You could say that about the Brewers. You could say that about the Yankees, the Baltimore Orioles. You could say that about whoever's in the AL Central, in the AL West. You could say that about any fucking team. So that's a little bit unfair on that part. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a little unfair. Okay, guys, you're going a little bit too far here with saying they'll never win a World Series. You're going a little too far on that aspect. Did this win bother you that badly? It's been 2 games of bad offense. I understand it's PTSD and all that stuff, but I think you guys are going a little too much off the deep end. A little too much, in my opinion. Just a little too much. Now, yes, I am very critical of this team, but I feel like they do deserve credit when the offense was going well. You know what I mean? The least sane... You do got that true right there, Austin. I probably have the least sane people in here as well. I'm also not a very sane person, but I can be sane when I want to be. I just feel like saying that they'll never win a World Series is kind of... Because the Dodgers aren't consistent. The Brewers aren't consistent. No team in baseball this year has been consistent. It all depends on who gets hot. That's what happens. And I'm not trying to pull up last year like the example. I'm not trying to go that far. Yes, the Texas Rangers, they had a terrible month of September. They barely squeaked into the playoffs, and they got hot at the right time and won the World Series. 2022, the Astros were really good. The Phillies got hot, blah, 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 blah. 21, Braves, injured bunch. They made trades. They got hot at the right time. They won a World Series. 2020, Dodgers, they finally found some consistency, if you want to throw the bubble into that fact. They almost got beaten by the Braves in the NLCS if it wasn't for a miraculous comeback from down 3-1. 2019, the Nationals went on an improbable run. Um, if you're just judging this off, I explained very well that splitting against the Marlins was unacceptable. I fully put that on that fact. But I think you're also forgetting at that point, we could be critical of the series against the Marlins, but then also just don't automatically throw away what they did before the Marlins. I think that's where we're getting wrong here. They won, if you're going back to the National Series, they won the series against the Nationals, then lost that series against the Braves. Then they won the series against Kansas City, won the series against Houston, won the series against the Braves, then split. Now I'm probably getting off track here. After the Braves, who did they play after the Braves? Why am I forgetting Toronto? They won those 2 games in Toronto, so they swept those 2 games. So they won a lot of series in a row in that stretch where they were actually playing very good. And then, yes, of course, when they go to Miami, they split those 2 games. They play very good in the 2 first games and then get shit smacked in the last 2. Yes, that is very unacceptable, and that's very valid to be critical there. But we also can't, like I said, we can't throw away what they did before that. That's what we need to realize here. You can't throw away what they did before that because they were playing very good. And I think they don't get enough credit for playing that good. You know what I mean? I feel like we get very critical of them playing bad, but we don't give them credit when they play good. Rigo, I don't think that's fair. You know? You could say that about the Dodgers. You could say that about any team. There is not one team that stands out from one another this year in baseball. There isn't. You can't say it. There's no team that stands out from one another. Every team has their flaw. Every team has been on a bad stretch this year. There is not one team that is expected to win 100 games this year. Not projected at all. Everyone's evenly grouped right here. Phillies are in the same picture as the Dodgers. They're in the same picture as the Yankees. They're in the same picture as the Brewers. They're in the same picture as the Astros. They're in the same picture as all these other top teams in the baseball. And they're one of the best records in baseball for a reason. So it's just that we can't go on the fact, oh, I don't trust this team. It's kind of being unfair, in my opinion. I just think it is. A little bit unfair. Just because of what happened last year, just because of 2022, to say that they'll never win a World Series, I think that's kind of stretch, in my opinion. I think that just is. Not one team is consistent through 162. That just isn't the fact. Majority at this point in this year's age of sports is who gets hot at the right time. At this point, it's not just one team that is purely dominant and dominant throughout all. I think the last team that was just purely dominant throughout the regular season and purely dominant throughout the playoffs, I think the last time I've seen a team do that was 2018. And then after that, it was a wild card team that won it in 2019. Then the bubble happened, so you could really throw everything out of the table there. 2021 was a division winner, but they weren't the best team in baseball, and they lost their superstar player. Astros, yeah, you could throw the Astros. They were probably one of the better teams in baseball. Last year, Texas Rangers, they almost fell flat on their face. Most teams didn't have a slump that lasted 2 full months either. I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to devoid criticism away, but I think they also deserve credit when they figured it out. Because I feel like you're trying not to give them credit because they figured it out mostly. They got out of that slump, and I feel like they figured it out for the most part. Yes, the offense isn't fully there yet, specifically Bryce Harper. If Bryce Harper does figure it out, that's what makes me more confident in the offense. Nick Castellanos has been very good for a very long time now, actually. Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, they're getting better at the plate. We'll see where that takes them. Kyle Schwarber does look more confident at the plate. He's hitting more home runs, so that is definitely good for the backstretch. Trey Turner, we'll see if he gets hot or not. It's just the fact that we get into this mentality that, my God, I don't trust this team. That's why they're not going to win a World Series. It's a little unfair, I think. And if you're just judging on the fact that the New York Yankees, They were playing like one of the worst teams in baseball for a span of like a month and a half. That's how bad the Yankees were before they swept us. They were playing very bad baseball for a while. If you go listen to New York sports radio and follow the Yankee stuff, they were bad. Very bad. The Dodgers, they went through a stretch where they were not good at all. And granted, yes, they're dealing with starting pitching injuries and all that stuff, but they were not good, and injuries to Mookie Betts and all that stuff, but they weren't playing good. They still had, besides, Mookie Betts, they still had a very full lineup right there. They weren't playing good at all. The Baltimore Orioles, they weren't playing good for a long stretch. The Guardians, they've gone through their really bad stretches. To say that, because they didn't go on a stretch of bad baseball for 2 months, that separates the Phillies from every other team. That makes the Phillies worse than any other team. Don't think that's fair. Don't think that's fair, in my personal opinion. Because if we look at the Phillies right now, standings wise, just look at baseball. Phillies record wise, they have the second best record in baseball. Second best. And no, they were not going to keep up a 700 winning percentage the entire season. That was not realistic. As much as we were having fun. Now, yes, that doesn't make being bad for 2 months acceptable. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I think we do need to give them credit when it looked like they figured it out. And to go on the stretch stats and stretch the thing out to where that, I don't think they're going to win a World Series because I don't trust them. I just don't think that's fair to say that to them. Yeah, maybe they don't win a World Series, but we just can't. But that's like the easy cop out saying, they're not going to win a World Series. That's just an easy cop out because most teams don't win the World Series. There's 30 plus teams in baseball for a reason. Only one team wins the World Series. It's a very hard trophy to win. So I just think, they're not going to win. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say that whatsoever. They have the second best record in baseball. They're a half game behind the Dodgers for the best record in baseball. I think they do deserve credit for that. All honesty. Because, not one of these teams are projected to win 100 games. The Dodgers aren't projected to win 100 games. The Phillies aren't projected to win 100 games. The Yankees nowhere close to winning 100 games. The Brewers nowhere close. The Guardians nowhere close. The Orioles nowhere close. The Padres nowhere close. None of these teams are going to be winning 100 games. Just none. None. So, that's what it is at this point. So. But like I said, differences aside, I just think it's a little unfair. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Now, it looks like the Cubs are beating the Dodgers right now, 2-0 in that game. Cody Bellinger just hit a 2-run shot. So, hey, if the Dodgers lose, that helps us. That helps us. Nope, it does not look like there's anything on terms from Bryce Harper. So right now, magic number updates for the Phillies. Magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 11. The magic number to clinch the East is 12. And the magic number to clinch a first round bye is 16. Let's see. Nope, there is nothing else here at all. Yeah, here's more stats on Bryce Harper in his last 124. Basically, I said it right here. 313 batting average, 389 on base, and a 446 slug. So Bryce has been productive. It's just from the power standpoint that he has not been productive. And that's what's being a letdown right now. But overall, yes, his numbers have been very good. Hitting, just like pure hitting wise, his numbers have been solid. So, well, I think that's a good place to end it right here. Been going a little long. We're on the 45-minute mark. Yeah. I think that's where we'll end it. Watch the rest of this Monday night game against San Fran and the Jets. So San Fran's winning 26-7. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, we'll call it a night here, boys. Aside from our differences and our disagreements, I appreciate all of you guys here that join the live feed all the time. So just because I disagree with you does not mean I don't appreciate you. So love you all. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Thanks, guys, again for joining tonight. Love you one and all. I mean it.